What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again, and this is your match preview. It's Everton against Palace at Selhurst Park. A game that Everton will go into confident. We've come off the back of some good results. I think it's 5 wins in 8, which for a team that, a lot of people said we're going to be down around the bottom. We're not, so that's a real positive. And look, Everton go into this game off the back of last week's result, which was a 1-1 draw with Brighton. A game that Everton were leading for 77 minutes. A game that, I still believe Sean Dyche making substitutions, Everton would have won that game. But irrespective, we're not going to be scared about going to Palace. They've got a lot of injuries, albeit I do think Eze is back, which is, he's a dangerous player. He's a very talented individual and can cut a team apart. But we don't appear to have any new injuries. It looks like Onana may well be back. Branthwaite had a knock, but it looks like he's fine. So there's lots of positives. I don't think it'll be a great, entertaining game of football, but I do think it'll be a game that Everton will go and they will, they'll play to get a result. They won't be scared about going to Palace. They'll set up to have a high counter-attacking game, but they'll push forward. They'll apply pressure. Certainly if Onana starts, because I do think we missed Onana last week. I think if Onana starts, I think it's a game that he can physically boss, which is positive. And I also think that if you look at the metrics around the goals conceded, the goals scored, there's not huge amounts in between Everton and Palace. So, yeah, I'm fairly confident Everton can go to Selhurst Park and get at least a point. We've done well against Palace in the past. We've got decent results, wins, and I'm not. It's weird, really, because I'm now going into games and there is a little bit of confidence, and we haven't been in that position in such a long time. But going into an away day that I kind of don't think we'll lose. Whenever we've gone to, say, Brentford or we went to West Ham, I kind of did think we'd lose and maybe get a point. But I'm going into this game expecting a point, thinking we could get 3. The turnaround's been astounding. Calvert-Lewin is scoring, and he's playing well. His overall game is doing well, so that's good. I want to see it against Brighton. We lacked in certain areas. We lacked keeping hold of the ball. We lacked doing much on the turnover. We always lack the pass in the final third. And this is a game where we can really hurt Palace with our pace. And, there is educated footballers in that team. There is players with an IQ. Sometimes you don't see it. But there is, Dwight McNeil has an eye for a pass. Jack Harrison has an eye for a pass, albeit he had a poor game last week. So it wouldn't surprise me if he came out of the team. Onana can pass. We've seen that. I mean, the goal at Aston Villa was testament to that. Big, strong physicality, and then he rolls and makes a very incisive pass in between the right back and the centre half, and that put us on our way to beating Villa away. So, yeah, there isn't really loads to talk about. Me and John were about to do the video together, but for some reason the software we used wasn't working, which happens. That's it. I don't think. I mean, it sounds awful, but I'm really not concerned about Palace. I don't think they play a style of football which will hurt us too much. I don't think they create loads of clear-cut chances. Roy will make them solid and compact. I think this game's going to be, last on match of the day. I don't think it's going to be particularly entertaining. I think it will be a poor game. So, yeah, we'll see. Score prediction. I'm going to go 2-0 Everton. I'm going to go 2-0 Everton. I do think Everton have a better team than Palace. And I think the maturity that this team has shown to go through what they've gone through already this season is testament to the players. And equally Sean Dyche, who has taken a fair bit of criticism for some of his team selections, some of his substitutions. But whenever it comes to, you know, maybe the players being dug out a little bit, he's always managed that himself. He's always handled that himself, and that's one thing I will praise him for. He takes that stress away from the players and just allows them to play. Whether they set up right, whether the substitutions are right, that's immaterial. He still allows them to play. And yeah, this is the last game before international break. It's a game where Everton could, you know, we could be on 14 points after this and comfortably in mid-table. You know, there's 3 teams at the bottom. I think there's a 6-point gap in between them now. We could extend that. So yeah, look, I am positive. I think we need a good game from Calvert-Lewin. I think he can hold up the ball well. He's been winning a lot of headers. His leaps have been astounding this season. You know, we've always known that he's had a leap on him, but he's been getting to balls that you just don't expect him to get to. They will be physical. We know that. We know they'll be physical, but I don't think it's nothing we can't handle. And you know, I look at the stats for both Everton and Palace, and again, you know, you look at the goals scored, where Everton have scored 11, Palace have scored 10. You look at conceded goals. You look at the goal difference. Palace are on -3, Everton are on -4. Everton have won 3 games. Palace have won 4 games. There's nothing in it. There's literally nothing in it. There's 4 points in it, and that's because they have 1 draw more than us and one win more than us. It's not rocket science. Everton have turned a corner since the start, and you know, statistically, I think Everton have a better team. I am fairly confident we will win, and I think Palace fans probably think that this is a tough game, and you know, they're not looking forward to it. And I'm great with that. The one thing I will say is Palace, in terms of clean sheets, they've done quite well. They've defensively been sound. You know, when you look at some of their players, you know, they're sitting on 5 clean sheets, which is a great result after 11 games in the season. So fair play to them. But yeah, I just fancy my chances. I just fancy we're going to have a good game. I fancy we're going to get a result, and you know, I do fancy we'll take 3 points. I do. My team is pretty standard. You will get it. It's Jordan Pickford in goal, Nathan Patterson at right back. I don't see the point starting Young. 2 centre-halves, Branthwaite and Tarkowski. I know he said that Branthwaite had a knock, but he should be fine. Mikolenko comes in at left back, plays at left back. He's been sensational for a while. Unfortunately for Ladrissa Garner-Gay, he steps back out of the team, and Onana and James Garner go in the middle. Doucouré just in front of him, albeit I find him really frustrating at times. And I allow Dan Juma to play on the right-hand side. I allow McNeil to start on the left-hand side, and I'll go with Calvert-Lewin up front, which means I do drop Jack Harrison following his game last week. And it just looked like, following his injury, he just maybe looked a bit leggy. He just didn't have a very good game at all. So that would be my team. 2-0. 2-0. So, guys, look, I'm leaving it there. Keep smiling, up the toffees. Sorry it's not quite what we wanted, but technical difficulties. I know we haven't done a match debrief from Monday, but again, there was a bit of a personal issue, so we've both struggled. So look, we will get back to doing more regular content. It's a difficult period at the minute. So guys, look, keep smiling, up the toffees. Peace.